always talk to me, try not to look into the camera. So if you could just introduce yourself to me, so if you could say your name, position and your club.
Yeah, my name's Christian Day, I'm second row, I play for Northampton Saints.
Why did you decide to play lock? How did that come about? Is it something you did from a young age?
I think just being as tall as I am and being quite athletic and good at catching balls, I ended up playing second row.
Which side do you play? Do you have a preference between 4 and 5? Actually, is there a difference?
There doesn't have to be a difference, but there tends to be. You tend to find that number 4's slightly larger and heavier, and number 5 tends to be a little bit more athletic. But at Saints we're a little bit different to that because Courtney Law's playing number 4. He's not the biggest guy, but he's obviously very physical, and it's my job maybe to add a bit more ballast than a number 5 would do usually. But I also run the line out. So.
What is your job as a lock during the set pieces? So during the line outs and scrums?
Yeah, as I say, I run the line out at Saints, so my job is to call the line out and make sure everyone's doing what they should be there. But I also play on the right side of the scrum behind the tight head, so I'm also the biggest, heaviest lock generally. So I have a lot of work to do in the tight as well.
Cool. Opposite that, what is your job as a lock during the open play then?
I'm kind of like a work rate second row, so I hit a lot of rucks and make a lot of tackles hopefully, and obviously, my job's also to ball carry, but probably to a lesser extent than the back row. I've also got an important job at kick-offs, taking the ball high, and sometimes I get to pass the ball as well.
Awesome. But how do you balance technique with brute strength, especially being a forward where there's a lot of technique in scrummaging? You've got to be very powerful. How do you balance the two?
I think if you're going to play at the highest level, you need to be able to balance the two, because being the strongest guy probably won't bring you much success, and being technically very good isn't going to bring you any success if you're physically not good enough either. So I think if you're playing at Premiership level or close to it, you need to bring both to the table and be technically sound, but also be physically very strong and powerful, as you say.
Brilliant. What are the main attributes a player needs to play lock then? So to say you need this, this, and this to be able to play effectively, what would you say they are?
I would say a modern day second row will be at least 6'5" and 17 stone. They'll have good ball skills in terms of catching, passing, and being able to take high balls. And also they'll have a physical element to their game. They're not afraid of contact, and they're willing to put their head in some dark places.
Cool. What's your training regime like at the moment then? Is it something in between, say, what one of the props would do and one of the backs? Is it sort of in between weights and cardio?
Well, we don't train cardio too much in season simply because we'd be too tired from games, but in terms of the weights we do, the second row will train with the back row mostly. It's mostly a lot of explosive movements and ensuring that, as you say, you're not just strong but you're powerful with it, so you can move heavy weights quickly. And that's probably where the modern game has changed a lot in the last sort of 5-10 years.
Okay. Opposite that, how does your diet build around this? Is there anything that you're told you're completely not allowed?
No, not really. We're all adults. We need to look after ourselves. We all have diet plans according to our own body needs. It's not really done positionally. Some guys can eat anything and never put a pound on, and other guys look at a cake and put some weight on. So yeah, everyone individually looks after themselves, but certainly after games we're encouraged to treat ourselves and not really worry too much about it. Pre-season's a bit different. When we're training very hard, we've really got to be careful what we eat.
How many meals would you eat a day then? How many calories is that entitled to?
I think in pre-season we eat around 6,000-7,000 calories, I think, which is a hell of a lot for an adult to eat. But we're all really big guys. Game week's a bit different in season because obviously our workload changes day to day. So before a game we'll be piling the calories in, but maybe Tuesday, Wednesday through the week we'll be a bit more mean on ourselves and not be eating quite as much.
Do you have any exercises that help prevent injuries, sort of, especially around the key areas that rugby players tend to get hurt?
Yeah, we all have our own individual plan according to our weaknesses, so we'll be screened on a Monday after a game to find out if anything's going particularly wrong, but then we'll all have our own problems that we need to work on, and we have time through the week set aside for that in terms of rehab or strengthening areas.
Okay, opposite, how important would you say a warm-up and a cool-down is then to a player?
I would say that they're both absolutely crucial, really, particularly a warm-up. If you go into anything cold, you're risking injury as well as probably not performing as well as you can. So a warm-up's crucial. cool down's important, but also what's important is adequate rest and nutrition that's going to help your body recover, and I think that's the important thing, particularly rest. If you don't get enough sleep or rest after a game, you won't be fit for the next week.
What's it like being on the inside of the scrum? Obviously you're pressed between the hooker and the tight head. How much can you actually hear when you're in there?
Yeah, you can't. You can hear what's going on because we're all shouting, but no, it's certainly a unique experience. But I think I must have hit over 1,000 scrums in my life, so you get used to it, and you just you go in there, try and do your job, and work well as a unit.
Speaking of scrums, do you like the new scrum laws? Do you prefer them to the old ones? And more crucially, do you think that they're working?
Yeah, I don't mind the new laws. You know, you have to ask the props for their proper interpretation of what's going on, but you know, we as a team pride ourselves on our set piece, and we hope that we will work within whatever laws are said each season. We just hope that referees learn to interpret them the same every week, and if they do that, it's fair for everyone.
Cool. Last couple of questions. How do you mentally prepare yourself for a match? So say you're in the changing room just before you go out. Is there anything that you do?
All players are different. Some guys like to headbutt walls, and other guys like to, you know, quietly think about what they need to do. Some guys listen to music. It's all down to the individual, really. Me personally, I like to go over. You know, we have some sheets made in the run up to the game about what we're going to do on the day, and I'll have a sheet myself for the line out in terms of what I want to call. So I'll just quickly run through those before the game and make sure I've got them at the front of my mind for the first whistle.
Awesome. Last question. Who do you think is the best locker in the world, and why? What makes them so good at what they do?
What, right now?
Yeah.
I would probably say Sam Whitelock's probably at the front of my position at the moment. He's technically very, very good. He's good in the line out. He's getting, you know, better and better in the tight, and his work rate's immense. He makes a lot of tackles, and he's part of a great All Blacks team. So yeah, he's certainly probably top of the tree at the moment.